Hey everybody, Joe here. Welcome back to 360 Comics. I want you to sit back and relax and listen up as I tell you a tale of two Grails. Cue the theme music. So as it turns out, I don't have theme music, but I do have Instagram, and you can go there and enter our 3,000 follower giveaway. You can win a newsstand copy of X-Men 251 with that amazing Mark Silvestri cover, and we're only 40 followers away, so I'm going to set the date right now. This Wednesday, September 8th, 8 p.m., Instagram Live. I'll be picking a winner, so come hang out, chat comics with me, and see if you won. As always, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, give me the thumbs up for the like, and leave a comment below. Tell me about one of your personal grails that you may already have or may still be searching for. And stick around to the end of the video where I'll be talking about a claim sale I'm doing on Instagram Live and a future giveaway. I'm going to break this video down into a couple different chapters, and finally all culminating in the reveal of the grade behind this piece of paper. It's being hidden right now for a reason, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So let's start this tale of two Grails off at Chapter 1. A little bit of background about this book. We've got X-Men number 12 from 1965, a Silver Age classic key, the first appearance of a major villain, the Juggernaut, Cain Marko. It's also an origin story of Professor X, which makes a lot of sense given that Cain Marko is Professor X's stepbrother. I thought that was really cool what they did here. They kind of fleshed out one of the main X-Men characters, giving him a backstory and a familial connection to one of the up-and-coming baddies in the X-Men universe. Juggernaut was one of the originals, like one of the OGs, even before the Sentinels. They didn't come around until 2 issues later in issue 14. Juggernaut was there, and one thing to note about Juggernaut that some people aren't aware of, he is not a mutant. His power derives from a gem bestowed upon him by an ancient deity, all that stuff. You can look into his backstory a little bit more, but he is not a mutant. In addition to being a major key issue and having a great story, the cover art was also done by Jack Kirby, and it was written by Stan Lee, the original driving force. Those two put out so many characters in a few short years that are still around to this day. The reason that Marvel was able to survive, and not only survive, but thrive through that time period where a lot of companies were going out of business. Juggernaut himself has also stood the test of time, popping up here and there in the Marvel Universe and in the films and television shows. I love his character in the X-Men animated series. I wasn't a huge fan of his portrayal in both the X-Men movies and Deadpool 2, but, looking forward into the MCU, they got another chance. They can let him live in all his Juggernaut glory, and hopefully we see that within the next few years. And who can forget his slogan from that viral YouTube video about 15 years ago? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. On to Chapter 2 now. I'm going to talk about where and when I got this book and my history with this copy. This was on my local comic shop wall for a good while, and I had been eyeing it up. This was about 5 years ago, and it was marked at $100, and I kept thinking about picking it up, and now this was years ago, so $100 was kind of the typical price of a really low grade one, which this is a really low grade. And I was thinking about it for a while, and finally they had a 15% off sale for some holiday, and I was like, you know what, $85, that sounds a lot better than $100. I picked it up. I put it away in my collection, and fast forward now to the year 2019. I had just bought a house, and I was changing jobs, not only changing jobs, but changing careers entirely, and I had to sell a lot of my collectibles and things that I owned of value in order to, try to make the ends meet. And I sold off just about all of my raw books. I kept my slabs, at least most of my slabs, but I sold off almost everything that was raw. My first comic book I ever owned, I left at home. I took everything else that was raw and brought it to a shop to sell, And this book was in there. And, we worked out a price, and finally I was like, I can't let that X-Men book go. I got to get that X-Men 12 out of there. So I said to the guys, like, hey, can I pull the X-Men 12 out? I really want it. I don't want to let it go. And I had a last-minute decision to hold on to this book. He let me take it out and actually ended up giving me the same price that we had discussed, which was great. He didn't take anything off for this. I think he saw how much it meant to me. So I only had this book and my Spider-Man 1, Todd McFarlane, as my only two Raw books for a while. I started rebuilding my collection and eventually decided to get this thing graded. I sent it off to CGC with Toy and Comic Heaven, another store in my area. They sent it off for me because I did not at the time have a CGC account, and it was gone for grading for a whopping 7 months. Before we reveal the grade when it came back, I've got to turn the page first to chapter 3 here and talk about this book a little bit, because while this one was at CGC, this one popped into my life. And it's got a kind of an interesting story. Right place at the right time. I was playing Magic the Gathering in my local comic shop, Brave New Worlds, and somebody came in looking to sell this book. The store made an offer. The person turned the offer down and left out into the parking lot. I saw it all happen, and I said to the store employee, do you mind if I go make him an offer? I wanted to do this because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. They're a business. They obviously have first dibs on everything that comes in their store. I didn't want to upset anyone, but they had turned down, the seller had turned down their offer, and I asked to go make another offer. The store employee said it was fine, so I went out to the parking lot and talked with the gentleman out there. We agreed on a price, and I purchased this copy of X-Men 12. You can probably see the difference in condition between these two, even just on this video. This one is much brighter in color, has way less damage around the edges. It does have this interesting stamp here. I'm actually not sure what the stamp is. It's kind of smudged, but I think it says MHMS. I've talked to a couple people. We thought maybe middle school. The MS could stand for middle school or some kind of military service kind of thing, because a lot of companies did ship books to, people who were stationed overseas and outside of the country. But we're not really sure. But this book still is in significantly better condition than this one. And I will eventually be sending it into CGC once I press it. I'm thinking it's going to come back a 4.0, but it might be better. Might be a 4.5. Might be a 3.5. I don't know. We'll see when it comes back. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Chapter 4, the final chapter here, and the big reveal. What grade did this book get? Like I said, I picked this one up, and not even 2 weeks later, this one finally arrived back from CGC after being there for 7 months. I sent it in thinking it was probably going to be a 1.5. I was going to be really happy if it was a 2.0, and I was going to be okay with it if it came back a 1.0. The book was complete, so I didn't think it was going to get a 0.5, but it was in really rough shape. I was pretty close. It was actually none of those grades, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, it's a 2.5. No, I wish it was a 2.5. But the rare 1.8. Not a lot of people even know, especially if you don't collect a lot of Silver Age and Golden Age stuff. You might not even know that the 1.8 exists, but it is a grade that a book can attain if it's better than a 1.5, but not quite a 2.0. And that's what this was. So my guess of 1.5 was pretty close. It got a little bump, not all the way to the 2.0, but 1.5. Of course, I did have this book cleaned and pressed before I had it sent in. It was in rough shape and definitely needed it. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Hopefully we'll get back a significantly higher grade, and I haven't decided what I'm doing yet with this copy once I get this one graded. Am I going to keep both? Maybe. Am I going to sell this one and keep the higher grade? Also maybe. Something else to note is that it came back with the page quality level of white pages, which is right in the middle. You know, the book's a 1.8, so I kind of was expecting it to be somewhere in there. I'm definitely not upset by that, and it really doesn't matter to me too much. I'm just happy to have this book all slabbed up. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment on your way out. I did mention that I have some things to talk to you about for the future. One of them being, you probably noticed that I'm doing a giveaway every 1,000 followers on Instagram. I'm going to continue to do that. The 3,000 follower giveaway is about to pop off, and then I'll be announcing a 4,000 follower giveaway within the next, couple weeks or so. And I'm also doing a claim sale live on Instagram Friday, September 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come hang out and watch, see what I've got, you can just come hang out. If you want to buy some stuff, you can do that as well. We're going to have books ranging from, $5 raw books, minor keys, all the way up to some major keys, graded slabs, maybe some things in the $1,000 range, probably one book, I think, at least in that range, a graded slab. It's Ultimate Fallout 4 and a 9.6. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that on the audio, but we'll see. So yeah, come hang out and see if you want anything. I'm probably going to be doing these claim sales a little bit more often, just to get rid of some older stuff that I may not want anymore. And obviously, I'm going to take that money and use it to finance this channel, upgrade some of my equipment, do some cool giveaways and stuff like that, and purchase some new books to show you guys. So I hope you enjoy that. Lastly, keep your eyes and ears open for another YouTube giveaway that I'll be announcing probably in the next week or two. So look out for that. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.